Hey pros, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we are doing some highlights on my client who's fully relaxed and also doing a protein treatment on her because she did her relaxer about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and also share it with your friends and family. So we are doing what we call chunky highlights. They're not going to be extremely wide, but they're very noticeable. And in her case, she is relaxed. And this is the reason why I tell people when you're doing color services, you do want to make sure that you seek a professional for this because there is a way that this has to be done. You cannot do your color first and then go and relax. No matter if it's highlights, lowlights, if it's permanent color, whichever one, it requires that you are relaxed first, if you are relaxed. And then a couple weeks later, you can go into doing your highlights. And that is how we continue the cycle. So for her, she's doing highlights only in the crown. The good thing about doing highlights in the crown is that it gives the appearance that you have highlights all over your head. So for those of you that have been interested in getting color, while it's not something that I would consider suitable for everyone, it is what we call a luxury service, but it is definitely achievable and it helps to enhance your look, especially if you're really bored with your hair right now. That's the easiest way and the fastest way to change up your style without even getting a haircut. So she decided she wanted kind of like a honey blonde color. So we're starting off by lightening the area, which is what we call bleaching, some of you might say. And it's also using lightener, and this is not using hair color. So we're taking her up about maybe 5 to 7 levels of lift. And when we say levels of lift, because you're a pro, I'm teaching you guys, when we say levels of lift, that means that we're taking her from the level 1, which is black or brown, and we're bringing her up to anywhere near a level 10, sometimes 9, sometimes 8, which 10 would be a platinum. So now her highlights are fully processed. She is relaxed, so I did use a very low-level developer on her, and the low-level developer still allowed us to process her highlights in almost less than 20 minutes. By the time I got done applying her highlights and she sat for about 5 or 10 minutes, she was fully processed and ready to rinse. And at this point, she's already at a level 9. So this is actually a good place for her because, of course, she can always go as light as she wants in regards to the highlights, but we can also tone her down to make it as dark or as deep if she wants, which is what we'll be doing today as well. Now, she did not start off with the shampoo process, so we are going to be using our hair repair. I'm so used to saying it. Our Moist Repair sulfate-free shampoo, as well as our protein treatment, because it is time for her protein treatment. So I did not use the Elite Clarify first, only because I am highlighting her hair, and the Clarify shampoo can run that course of drying out her highlights, which we've already done so much work to her. Now, because she was a little bit itchy and I wanted to add a little more strength to her hair with the zinc, I did use some of our new Soothe and Balance scalp pre-treatment, which, as I told you guys in previous videos, this can be used as a pre-treatment or even during the shampoo process as a cocktail with your other shampoos. I also use the scalp tool that comes with the Soothe and Balance pre-treatment. This also soothes the scalp. It gets rid of the itch, and it helps because it does not tangle the hair as you are using it. It's absolutely amazing, and it actually comes with the Soothe and Balance pre-treatment. So it was able to be used to just really get into that scalp and start really making that blood flow move around, all of that good stuff. Now, once I got finished with that, I went ahead and rinsed her. Now, if you are going to be doing another lightening process, I don't recommend using our scalp tool. But if you're going straight into just your regular shampoo or even styling, you can definitely use that as well. Of course, we're going to make sure that we rinse her out thoroughly. Another good thing about the Soothe and Balance is that it does not dry the hair out like a lot of those medicated shampoos that you see on the shelf, because they fix one problem but create another. Our Soothe and Balance doesn't do that, so I don't have to worry about her hair feeling dried out at the end of the day. Because number one, we're using a moisturizing shampoo, which also doesn't strip the hair, and number two, the Soothe and Balance doesn't either. Now, I cocktailed a little bit of violet-based shampoo just to help tone a little bit of that gold or golden color out of her highlights. Was it absolutely necessary for this step? No. But as a stylist, I still like to do it. I think it's just kind of like an insurance for me. And even though I'm going to tone her, when you're toning hair, just like when you apply color to hair, you want to make sure that you get rid of any type of undertones at the same time. Now, I did not leave the violet shampoo on her hair very long, so it's not going to 100% tone out that yellow cast, but I still used it because it's really good for those highlights, and it's definitely going to help more than hurt. So at this step of the process, we're going to go ahead and start her protein treatment before we do any form of additional color to her hair. The protein treatment is done with our Elite Repair RX. That is going to help strengthen her hair and strengthen those highlights all at the same time. Now, I kind of switched my Repair RX into a different bottle because I use so much. So I use it as a spray on rather than a pump treatment, because I use it all day, every day, you guys. So me personally, I like the spray on version, but we did not include a spray cap on it because a lot of you would not understand how to utilize it with the spray cap if you're not doing it all the time. So use yours the way it is, but it's the same product, just so everybody's aware. All right, so she went under the dryer for about 15 minutes, and I wanted you guys to see what the hair feels like when she comes out, because she went under without a processing cap, and that is a part of the Repair RX Super Protein and Reconstruction Treatment. So her hair was nice and hard, but the purpose of that is that it is building those bonds or rebuilding those bonds, and it's strengthening the hair. So now we are going to go ahead and start the hydrate process, which is part 2 of the Repair RX system. They come together, which is the treatment and the hydrate. So we're going to do the hydration portion of it now to go ahead and rehydrate her hair and to continue on with our color process. Now, before I went ahead and applied the hydrate, you do want to make sure that you rinse the hair out thoroughly. And because I'm rinsing out the protein treatment, I did use warm water for that. Now for her conditioner, which is the hydrate, I will be using cool water, and then I also cocktailed it with a little bit of our Super Growth Serum, which the great thing about our Super Growth Serum is it's a water base, so it will not interfere. It's actually going to help more than it will ever hurt. So I applied that to her hair, and then she sat with that for a couple of minutes. And then that's when you do the rinse treatment. Now, here is where you can actually detangle the hair if you choose to, or if you want to wait until after your color service is done, you can. Now, after we rinsed her out, I went ahead and just towel dried her hair because I knew that I was going to be applying our toner for the highlight area. And then we're also going to be doing a shine treatment to the remainder of her hair. Now, the toner that I'm using is made by a company called Pravana. These colors are actually not available anymore, but they were discontinued, but I really like them. They're great for toning, but you can use whatever semi-permanent color you like to tone out or change the color of those highlights. So in her case, I'm applying the toner right in the area where her highlights were, and I'm including all of the hair that's in that area. It's not going to hurt. All it's really going to do to the darker hair is just give it a great shine or a slight brilliance to it in that part of the head. Now, because I know I did not apply the toner to any other part of her hair, that is what motivated me to say, you know what, now is definitely the time that I'm going to do a shine treatment using our shine boosting conditioning treatment on the remainder of her hair. So instead of me utilizing the treatment from the bottle itself, I went ahead and poured the treatment into the same bottle that I had her toner in for the crown of her head. While it's not going to change the color of her hair, I can still do that because it's semi-permanent to a semi-permanent conditioning treatment. So if anything, it's just going to add more shine and give a slight uniformness to the remainder of her hair. But remember, her hair is dark, so it's not going to change the color. It's just going to add that shine and work as a great filler for the rest of her hair, and then of course allow her hair to have that luster just like her highlights would. So this is something that I tell you guys, all of our products are intermixable. They work together. They don't work against each other. They are all for the greater good. So definitely, if you haven't tried the shine boosting treatment, you really need to try this treatment. It's really, really good, and it leaves the hair feeling nice and soft, but at the same time, a great luster to it. Now, when I applied that to her hair, I did go through and detangle the areas that I applied the shine boosting treatment because it is a conditioning treatment, you guys. So it's a conditioner first and a shine second. So I went ahead and detangled her, and then she sat with this on for about 20 minutes. And then that's when we went through and did the rinse process. Yep. All right, so I also applied a little bit of the shine treatment to the front of her head because remember, highlights do not go to the face front. So I applied it to the front, and then I still allowed some of it to even get on her highlights too. But all is well when it comes onto this part of the process. So once we were done, I went ahead and rinsed her hair entirely. And at this part, I used cool water. Well, it had a slight warmth to it, but it was more, say, cool. And then we are just rinsing her thoroughly because this is the final rinse of this cycle. Now, you can, if you need to, go through with a softening conditioner if your hair doesn't feel soft enough for your liking, or if you're a stylist and that client's hair doesn't feel soft enough. Get away from that myth that you should not shampoo or condition the hair after a color. There's no real legitimate reason for that, you guys. Honestly, you do want to go ahead and get rid of any residual color and make sure that hair is nice and soft. So now that she's fully toned, I went ahead and applied a little bit of Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum to her hair. And now I'm just blow drying her hair and preparing her for her styling process. If you guys can tell, she is relaxed, but she still has some texture to her hair. And this is why I tell you guys, when it comes on to relaxers, the hair does not have to be bone straight. It doesn't mean that it's damaged, but a true relaxer leaves some form of texture in the hair. If the hair is bone straight and dead, it is not going to have any life to it. And you'll notice that you shed a lot more than those who did their relaxer properly and they still had that S pattern. So we're going to do some body curls to her, and then we're actually going to wrap her up. The reason for the body curls is because she likes to wrap her hair. And I'm a firm believer that if you start with the hair already bone straight and you wrap it, your wrap won't last as long because, number one, it's bone straight and you're just going to get straighter. But when you start with like a body curl or a tighter curl and you wrap that hair every night, you'll notice that your wraps last longer, your hair look and feels better, and at the same time, you still have that nice bounciness and that volume that everybody really, really wants when they walk out of the salon. So that is the reason why we did that. Now, even though she is relaxed and she slightly has some texture to her hair, I still did larger sections. So my partings were about 3/4 of an inch to an inch in width, so that we're not going through and just kind of over processing. Now, keep in mind, you guys, when she has highlights, it's really, really important that you take real good care of this hair, because remember, highlights is a luxury service. You're going to treat it as you would if your hair was platinum. You're going to be just as delicate with it, and you're also going to make sure that you have a good regimen. So the regimen for her, because she's relaxed, would be the hair repair and restore shampoo and conditioner. And then I'd also recommend our moist repair 24 karat deep conditioning mask here and there in between her wash process. So I hope you guys really, really like these highlights. They came out so nice. And if you guys can tell, it looks like she has highlights all over her entire head. That is the purpose, and that's the reason why I tell people you don't have to get a full head of highlights to make a difference in your hair. So now I'm just wrapping her, and then I'm going to use what we call the elite method when it comes on to getting her hair to lay nice and sleek. So we're going to use a processing cap and the diffuser from our blow dryer. And this is just like if I was to put her under the dryer with saran wrap. But in this case, I'm able to do this in about 3 to 5 minutes. No saran wrap, because I didn't want to kill all of her curls, and I still wanted her hair to have that volume and body to it. Now, when I'm taking off my cap, you do still want to make sure that the hair is somewhat cool. In my case, I did not in this video, but do as I say and not as I do, you guys. But anyhow, all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, tell me what you thought about her highlights. I did go through and trim her slightly because I noticed that she had some little straggly ends. But if I tell you that that color just gave her some real oomph to her hair, and it just made everything just pop right out. So we had some dimension, we had some texture going on, we had some curls. All these different things really help when it comes onto your hair looking and feeling amazing, and especially yourself. Now, for her trim, it was a very mild trim because she is relaxed and she got a trim with her relaxer. But as I said, when you're doing color, you guys, trimming is actually vital in this process. So not say that she needs a full-on trim, but it was just really more like a cleanup. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought. Bye.